Hi there, welcome to the archives. So I'm trying to find creative ways to get my videos up because the apps are not allowing me to export them. This episode, I want to revisit Goddess, 50 goddesses, spirits, saints, and other female figures who have shaped belief. And I didn't fart, it's a noise. This one, I want to get into Patini. So this is the image for Patini. And the reason I want to get into this is because I've been thinking about some of my initial thoughts on Louis Theroux's documentary on the manosphere. I started watching it last night and I'm not done yet. I still have a long way to go, but some of my initial thoughts I have an earlier video that I tried to post. I'm not able to export it right now. And so I've been thinking about what are my thoughts. My initial thoughts was pity. And I'm thinking about that in a way of shame, right? I feel like there's a lot of shame that's coming out of this documentary. There's a lot of people engaging and negotiating shame to me. And we, the viewer, are also expected to engage in that. Like I think that's what's expected, right? There's supposed to be a level of like ick for some people, especially people like me, right? But it's translating as pity, like, oh, I feel bad, and like I'm thinking about that again because some of these men are very dangerous and violent to women, right? The Tate brothers. We're talking about like human trafficking, and so what does it mean to feel bad for an abuser, a narcissist, a human trafficker, right? But there is a sense of pity because I think that's where patriarchy is not what is the word? It doesn't help men. It doesn't help them because they engage in this discourse. Then the women around them, from my understanding, again I don't know, but are just like, we know this is who are you turning into, and so then they are claiming to be lonely right now. There's a loneliness epidemic. And then they're blaming feminists because feminists are don't want to be with them. But is it feminism and feminists, or is it the way you're treating them? Right? Because if you listen to them, they say they love women. I heard a lot of them being like, they say we hate women. We don't hate women. I love women. Okay, we're only going to argue with your feelings, but your actions, hearing you and watching you, and how you are with women doesn't show that you actually respect them. And I got into that in the earlier video I did where I was talking about, I just read, what did I just read? I just read You've Changed by Ian Williams, right? And you see that character. He's married to a woman. He says he loves women, but the way in which he treats his wife is not the most loving. It's not the most loving, right? Um, and it backfires. And I think that was what as I'm watching this, I'm thinking this is really bad karma. And I've said that to a lot of men in my life. Like, the way you're acting, the way you're treating women is such bad karma. But they don't believe all that spiritual stuff, especially a lot of the Black men who've disconnected from their African indigenous ways, which is why I'm going to connect it with this work today. But you have lost a part of you that used to be very innate, right? And they've taken that away from you using witchcraft. And so now you can't even learn about it. But because you don't know certain ways and you're conducting yourself with certain people, you really should not be conducting yourself like that. Especially women and girls, you have life because of them. Some religions see them as God. I know your religion says God is a man, but some people's religions who came before you said that God is actually a woman, and this is how you're treating God. They're like, you're not God. God is a man. Okay, okay. I just want you to know that other places have seen it differently, and your way saw the way they saw it and saw it as a threat and flipped the script to lie to you. And so you're believing a lie, and maybe it's not a lie. But again, some people see it differently, and you're really disrespecting people you should not be disrespecting. You might not believe in ancestors, but there's a God somewhere that really, really values what they have done. And they, right? And so it's just like, it's such bad karma. And then their lives go in a different route. And now they're claiming you of cursing them. Now you threw a hex on them. Or is that your energy coming back? You should have never done that. But you don't care about the consequences, right? And so that's more what I'm thinking about right now. All the feminist stuff, the femicide, I've talked about it, but I'm thinking about the spiritual costs. A lot of men in the manosphere are messing with women and girls in very spiritually harmful ways, right? You're creating spirit injury. I've been posting on LinkedIn this narrative around what is it? The bubbly Black girl, right? Quinta in Abbott Elementary. Who were some of the other ones? Tracy Ellis Ross in Girlfriends, right? The bubbly Black girl who's just so bubbly and so happy, and everybody ends up hating on her. They were talking about how that critique of her personality is actually creating a lot of spirit injury, is doing it's murder. Spirit murder was the word. I don't remember I have to look it up. I don't remember the person who talked about it. But you're creating spiritual murder and injury and harm to women, and you don't think that's going to come back to you in your lineage? That's bad karma. And then they turn around, they're like, oh, she threw a hex on me. No, that's bad karma. That red pill content is bad, bad, bad karma. You might not see it, but spiritually, the way they're treating women, why would you try me? Did you not hear Beyonce? Why would you try some of these women like that? Because you need so desperate to feel like a bad man. Is it worth it? And the pick me videos that they won't let me post, which is why I have to go live, because none of this will let me post. Was it worth it? Was any of this worth it? When it's all said and done, when we've all beefed and we fought each other and everybody's lost, was it worth it? And so in Sri Lanka, we're moving to Sri Lanka now. What is Sri Lanka's capital? Colombo. So Patini, that's the image for Patini. Okay. And I'm sharing this because her story is in line with the pick me. So basically it says Patini's tale is full of tragedy and drama. But at its heart is a love story between an ordinary woman and her husband. Before she was worshipped as a goddess, Patini was named Kananji. Is that how you say it? Kananji? I don't know. And her life is one of the oldest pieces of literature to survive from Sri Lanka. The Chilapatikaram, which means the jeweled anklet. This beautiful epic poem tells how Kananji married the son of a merchant, Kovalan, while they were very young. So it talks about how she's married to this man, Kovalan. He caught a glimpse of how beautiful she was. There was a woman named Madhavi. He fell deeply in love with her at once. In his desire, he left his wife. So the love triangle. Remember, we've been talking about pygmies. The love triangle. He desired Madhavi, fell in love with her, and forgot about his wife. His wife, Kananji, was heartbroken. She swore she would remain loyal and wait for her husband to return. So again, your man left you for another woman and she's waiting. Okay. So soon fortune turned in her favor. He returned to his wife. He was embarrassed, and it says he came begging for forgiveness. Though she was hurt, she realized that she wanted to stand by him. So they began planning for their future. So her husband, who left her for another woman, realizes that he actually still loves her and he needs her because now she's come up. So he's gone back to her and she's taking him back. And she says, let's plan for our future. So she remembered, but then they had no money because he wasted all his money on the other woman. So she remembered that she had this anklet. There's an ankle bracelet. It was solid gold. It was beautiful. She was desperate to get back on track financially. So she unfastened it and basically was like, go sell it for money. Well, the anklet, people said it was so wealthy, so charming, so precious that she stole it from the queen. So her husband now gets accused of stealing the anklet from the queen and is killed. Okay? He's killed. He dies for nothing because they realize that it was the whole time it was really her anklet. And so she becomes wild with passion. And in front of everyone, she calls Agni. And Agni is a god of fire. And she asks Agni to destroy the city. So seeing her loyalty, the god hears her cry and instantly buildings burst into flames and the whole city is on fire. And so she received her justice. It says basically she was taken to heaven where she became a goddess, one of the most popular goddesses in Sri Lanka. People today honor her with many different rituals. In some villages, people act out her story. Some play games. Others use coconuts and sticks and horns. And the games vary. But she's always the goddess. And her husband or a wicked king is played. And so the people of Sri Lanka, as they continue to celebrate the bravery and faithfulness of Patini. And so she suffered greatly, but she remained strong and stood in her truth. She's often showed holding her two treasured anklets as a sign of loyalty, and she provides hope. And I think Patini's story, I'm going to wrap it up. It just reminds me of the manosphere incels, right? This is the type of woman they want. They want you to be loyal. They want to go cheat and come back to you and you'll take them back, right? And when you take them back after they spent all of that money, they want you now to be the one to finance their lives, even though they don't say that. They just need you to cook for them. They just need you to clean the house for them, right? These services they could be paying somebody else, I could just get it for free. And they make you feel like you're worthless. But she takes him back. And then what happened? Bad karma. This is what I'm trying to say. You see what happened to the man? You see how he died? You see how they accused him of stealing when the whole time he was innocent? That's bad karma. Why would you treat her like that? And she took you back. And she wants to give you her family heirloom to go sell to make money for the family. You're going to die. That's bad karma. I'm going to end it there. So be a red pill all you want. Have your ideologies, but just maybe you should talk to some people who think differently to know what is this going to do? How is this coming back to me? I just want to get married and treat all these women and disrespect them. And okay, if you think that's your way of life, but what energy is that putting out into the universe? And is that in alignment with your own religion? If you're a Christian especially, is that Christ-like? Would Jesus do that to a woman? Because Jesus wasn't doing that to women. He was kissing their feet, bowing down. He was not doing that to women. So not even Jesus did that. But then if you go ask the other religions what they were doing, they'll tell you, we were saying women are gods. Go ask the Hindus. You're disrespecting women. That's God you're disrespecting. Men, they don't see it like, that's okay. You don't have to see it that way. That's not how the rules of the world don't work the way you work. What you put out is going to come back. I'm going to end it there. So that's Patini's story, Sri Lanka. Those are some of my initial thoughts on the manosphere. I feel bad for you because I know what's coming back to you. All right. Until next time.